In this video, I'll explain a Japanese drama romance film called Honey Lemon Soda. The film begins by showing a girl named Akira. Akira is a shy middle school girl who finds it difficult to make friends. One day, after coming home from school, Akira pensively thought about which high school she would choose when she graduated from middle school. It is at this time that she crosses paths with Nanako, a student from her school who often bullies her. As might be expected, Nanako pushes Akira down, then taunts her for choosing an unpopular high school filled with losers. Being insulted like that, Akira didn't dare to fight back. She just sat there silently, clenching her fists. Not long after, Akira saw Ryota, a handsome student with lemon hair who always carried a bottle of lemon soda with him. Ryota stood in front of Akira, trying to cheer her up while shaking his lemon soda bottle. Ryota even suggested that Akira go to the same high school as him. Hearing that, Akira seemed to have hope that she would be able to live a normal life in high school without having to be afraid of bullying. Long story short, Akira was accepted into the same high school as Ryota. By pedaling her bicycle to school, Akira welcomes her first day with a smile. She believes that life at her new school will be fine. Meanwhile, Ryota immediately became the center of attention among the students at the high school. Ryota's popularity, however, made other students jealous and mocked him. Ryota returned the taunt by splashing lemon soda on them. Unfortunately, Akira, who happened to be passing by, was splashed by the lemon soda. As a result, Akira's uniform was wet. On the other hand, Ryota looks surprised to see Akira enrolling in the same high school. Akira begins to live out her high school days where she slowly opens up and talks to her new friends in class. However, those days only lasted for a moment because it turned out that Nanako went to the same school as her. In the school corridor, Nanako mocked her again. She calls Akira as stoned because Akira is always silent when teased. Akira's bullying continues. Every day, Akira's personal belongings are thrown into the trash, but again, Akira doesn't dare fight back. Concerned about Akira's situation, Ryota tries to get her to talk, suggesting Akira to cultivate the courage to take revenge on, or at least fight against the bullies. If she felt unable, then at least ask someone for help. Carrying Ryota's suggestion, Akira could only squeeze her own hand while holding back her emotions. It's not that Akira doesn't want to ask for help, but she doesn't want to involve other people in the problems she faces. Therefore, she prefers to remain silent, to the point that she also thinks that she is a stone. The next day, Akira meets Nanako and her friends again in the corner of the school. There, Nanako asked Akira to buy her some food. Akira responded with silence like a stone. Irritated, Nanako pushed her down. The commotion immediately attracted the attention of other students, including Ryota. Seeing Akira being bullied again, Ryota sat crouched beside Akira with a look in his eyes that clearly pitied Akira. Ryota said if Akira needed help, he was willing to help. Akira, who couldn't stand the suffering anymore, finally burst into tears and asked Ryota to help her. Ryota patted Akira's head to calm her down. Ryota stood up and gave Nanako and her gang a stern warning never to bother Akira again, or else they would suffer the consequences. Without saying anything, Nanako left with a huff. Since then, Akira can live her days in peace. In fact, she now gets 3 new friends who are also Ryota's friends. They are Masaki, Mato, and Akira. One afternoon in the classroom, while Ryota was seen sleeping soundly in his seat, the 3 friends were chatting with Akira happily. They interrogate Akira and ask why Akira chose their school. Akira openly said that when she was in middle school, she was always bullied, so she didn't have any friends, to the point that she thought that coming to school was unpleasant. Therefore, Akira acts like a rock so that she doesn't hurt her own heart and others. However, someone has brought her back to her senses, making her determined to change so she can live a normal high school life like any other teenager. Ryota, who was pretending to be asleep, overheard Akira's words. One day, the teacher rearranged the seats in the classroom. Luckily, Akira bought a seat next to Ryota in the front row. Since then, Ryota has discovered that Akira is a smart student, and that gives him an idea. In class, Ryota announced that whoever Akira was friends with, their grades could definitely improve. His classmates believe Ryota's words, and they start to be friends with Akira. Since then, Akira doesn't feel alone anymore, because Ryota will always be there to help her, and her classmates always greet her. Seeing the attention that Ryota gave to Akira, Akira suspected that Ryota had special feelings for Akira. However, Ryota didn't want to admit it. Because actually, behind his helpful nature, Ryota has a secret in his life. One afternoon, Ryota invites Akira to gather with his friends at a cafe to study together. They will have an exam soon, so Ryota and his friends need Akira to explain the material that will appear in the exam. Not long after, a girl named Tatsumi and her 2 friends approach them. Tatsumi turns out to be Ryota's ex-girlfriend. Even though they broke up, Tatsumi is still on good terms with Ryota. But suddenly, Tatsumi's friend taunts Akira, who she doesn't think is worthy to sit next to Ryota. The insult made Tatsumi angry. She immediately grabbed the glass and spilled its contents on her friend. Then Tatsumi apologized to Akira for her friend's outrageous words. However, the next day on the school roof, Tatsumi is surrounded by her friends. They demanded that Tatsumi apologize for her annoying behavior. Feeling innocent, Tatsumi refused to do so. Her refusal certainly angered them, to the point that one of them was about to slap Tatsumi. At this moment, Akira appeared and accidentally saw what they were doing. Akira decides to repay Tatsumi by defending her. And luckily, Ryota came and joined in defending Tatsumi. Feeling the situation was not favorable, they then left them. On the school roof, Akira saw the closeness between Ryota and Tatsumi. She also realizes that Ryota still pays special attention to Tatsumi, even though she doesn't know why the two of them broke up. Whatever the reason, Akira now feels insecure because she doesn't feel equal to the beautiful Tatsumi. One afternoon, Akira chats with Tatsumi and Masaki. From this conversation, Akira finally found out about Tatsumi and Ryota's first meeting. When she was in middle school, it turned out that Tatsumi was often bullied by her friends. The bullying that Tatsumi received was even more severe than what Akira had experienced. That's when Ryota came to protect Tatsumi. Ryota will always act if he sees injustice happening in front of his eyes. Since then, Tatsumi has always depended on Ryota, even though she realized she had to change, because she couldn't always be protected by others. That's the reason why Tatsumi and Ryota broke up. Tatsumi assures Akira that at this time she has no special relationship with Ryota. But still, Tatsumi's confession didn't satisfy Akira, who thought that Tatsumi still had feelings for Ryota. Therefore, Akira started avoiding Ryota without giving any explanation. Even so, Ryota still tried to approach her. Until one day when they met at the festival, Ryota asked for an explanation of why Akira's attitude towards him had changed. But Akira was silent, acting as if she was a rock. However, Ryota didn't give up. He held Akira's hands while looking into her eyes. Ryota said that even though Akira acted like a stone in his eyes, Akira is like a gemstone. Ryota's words brought Akira to tears, and Ryota once again comforted Akira to make her stop crying. Akira finally realizes her love for Ryota. A few days have passed since the festival. Akira still doesn't know that Ryota lives two different lives. It turns out that Ryota works part-time as a bartender at a bar at night. Ryota lives alone, so he has to work to make a living. But his busy life made his body tired to the point of getting sick. As a result, he missed school for several days. Akira was certainly worried, so she finally took the initiative to visit Ryota after school. Arriving at Ryota's apartment, Akira finds Ryota seriously ill. His fever was so high that he fainted. Akira immediately took care of him and cooked porridge so Ryota would eat. However, after spending the whole day with Ryota, Akira realizes that she hasn't seen Ryota's parents. Ryota explained that his parents were abroad. Long story short, Ryota is healthy again and he has come back to school. When Ryota walks in school, there are always girls who approach Ryota. Ryota's popularity makes Akira feel insecure. It was also realized by Akira, who then reprimanded Ryota, saying that Ryota's popularity would become a boomerang that destroys his relationship with Akira. Because of that, Ryota wrote in Akira's notebook about his feelings that he will always need Akira and will look for her wherever Akira goes. But that's still not enough to convince Akira, who is still not confident to be with Ryota. On the advice of Masaki, who asked Akira to express her feelings to Ryota, Akira finally expressed her love for Ryota. Unexpectedly, Ryota responded by kissing her lips. Since then, they openly show their close relationship in front of their school friends. Even so, some of their friends think they are not compatible because Akira doesn't deserve to be Ryota's partner. However, Ryota defends Akira, saying openly in front of all the students that they are officially dating. Days passed, and Akira and Ryota's relationship became closer. They always spend time together, study together, and go to favorite places together. However, their intimate relationship did not last long. When Akira wrote a question in Ryota's journal about his family tree, Ryota's expression immediately changed. Ryota seemed to avoid answering the question. He is reluctant to discuss his family matters with anyone, even if that person is his lover. This made their relationship a little tenuous. Ryota became quiet and refused to hang out with his friends. Ryota's change in attitude worries Akira. He decides to talk to Akira and tell her about Ryota's part-time job. Akira then rushed to the bar where Ryota worked. Seeing Akira standing at the entrance, Ryota immediately pulled Akira out of the place. There, Akira asks for an explanation why Ryota keeps his job a secret from her, even though being a bartender isn't a bad thing. But Ryota has a different view. He thinks that the bar belongs to the nightlife, a world that is not suitable for Akira. Akira still doesn't accept Ryota's excuse because to her, she has the right to know where Ryota is, no matter where in the world. But on the other hand, Ryota feels uncomfortable with Akira's attitude that interferes too much in his life. Without explaining anything, Ryota left Akira in confusion. Christmas Eve arrived, where Akira and her friends celebrated without Ryota because of work. However, when he saw Akira's photos on social media showing their happy days together, Ryota's heart was moved. In the end, Ryota realized that Akira's presence meant a lot in his life. He then ran, leaving his job to look for Akira. Unfortunately, when he arrived at the Christmas Eve celebration, he only found his friends. Akira had left the place. In front of his friends, Ryota apologized for his behavior so far that he kept his personal life a secret from them. His friends understand Ryota, and then they tell him that Akira is currently going to the place where Ryota met Akira for the first time. By borrowing Mato's bicycle, Ryota rushed after Akira. At the end of the film, Ryota arrived at his destination. A moment later, when he saw Akira, he wrote the answer to Akira's question in his journal the other day. While holding back tears, Ryota shared that his mother died when he was 3 years old, while his father disappeared when he was in his last year of middle school. Since then, he has lived alone. He kept it a secret because he was afraid that the person he loved would leave him again. After knowing this, Akira promised that she would always be by Ryota's side no matter what. The film ends. The message of this film is you have to fight and show your love if you feel you have found the right person. Because sometimes we only realize how important the person we love is when they are no longer by our side. And the movie ended.